Hey guys, so I'm sure you all have seen the little beef stories between Vince and Chris, and some of you are taking Chris's side, and some of you are taking Vince's side. And Chris was right when he said there are three sides to a story: your side, his side, and the truth. No one's gonna know the full truth. Um, and he was right by stating the facts. The facts were Vince was not there physically. And yes, he was making money off of Chris's work. If we want to be honest, that was Chris's work. Now they did work together. The first supplement line, the shirts they had, and Vince did admit that one of the brand logos was Chris's ideal. But when it comes to a partnership, here's the thing in business. When it comes to a partnership, someone's always going to be doing more, someone's going to be doing less. But the thing about that is both of you are going to receive the same profits. Is it always fair? No, it's not. But Vince should have came back though. And if someone is battling depression or they're going through something, then yeah, you have to be sensitive to those kinds of things. Vince was young. Chris even admitted that. He said, you know what, Vince was young. So he knew that Vince did not know how to handle the critics well. Vince even admitted, he didn't know how to handle it well. And sometimes some people fall back when they feel like they're being attacked or nothing's good enough. If it's a lose-lose situation, some people do fall into depression, or some people say, you know what? What's even the point if what I'm doing is not good enough? Obviously, Chris was the face of Physiques of Greatness. He still is the face of it. So I don't think he should let that channel go, because that channel is still going to soar. That's his baby, And so if you're the face of an original brand, the best thing you could do, especially from a marketing standpoint or business standpoint, a business aspect, a business side, you keep that original brand, because that's what made you. That's what made you make the most money. And then you go off and you venture. You capitalize off of multiple things. You have your clothing line, you have your supplements, you have beast mode. So you want to keep that. But for him to want to let that go, I'd say don't do that. That would be a bad move. A bad move. Honestly, that really would be. As far as taking sides, me personally, yes, I work out, play sports, all those kinds of things. But if as far as taking sides, I'm not gonna take any side. There's always error on both sides, no matter who's more wrong or who's more right. If both of you messed up, if you want to be honest, even if he made 5 mistakes and you made 1 mistake, you don't count those mistakes because both of you are wrong. Denise was right. Chris, you got a good girl. I am going to tell you that. Speaking as a married woman, you have a great woman by your side. Don't ever let her go. Don't mess that up. I'm telling you, don't ever mess that up. But she was right when she said communication was where you guys messed up at. If you'll find in any relationship, any partnership, any business, whatever the case may be, that communication was a common denominator, you guys have to go back and fix that and find where the first error was. Fix that first error and then find if you can move on from that, because if not, let the partnership go. But for POG, I'm telling you, keep that channel, because that's where your loyal fans are. That's where they were. Your new subscribers, they're going to go to beast mode automatically. Some may go with Vince. It doesn't matter the number. But Chris, you are the face. As far as Vince, if you can salvage that relationship, I would say Vince should have never put that video out. Chris, you should have never came back with a response to that video, because that hurts even more. And I know you're upset, but sometimes it's best to just let things be. That conversation between man and man should have been kept privately. And so that shows Vince's immaturity on his side. That shows how immature he is on his side. Vince, that kind of was a bad move on your part, because that it's not that it's an attack and people want to know what happened, but you should have just kept it at your side, saying, you know what, I was in prison for 2 years. There were things going on that Chris and I need to talk about. We will talk about it. Yes, he did try to reach out to me. I couldn't be reached. We have to find some time, but here's what I did. I'm going to hold myself accountable for my actions. Chris being the kind of guy he is, I know he'll hold himself accountable, and you should have just let that be. There should have been no more in between from both of you, honestly. But when someone feels attacked, they do have a right to come back and speak their mind. That's just how it should always be, because you never want someone to discredit your character. And that's for anybody. You don't want people to judge a situation that they're never going to know the full truth of. You don't want that to happen. Now, where I can say that Chris was the bigger man at was that he didn't, yes, he went up on a rant, but the fact that he wanted to state the facts shows that, you know what, in that case, he is a bit more mature, because he's like, you know what, I'm not going to go deep into the whole story, but you see it, I see it. I want you to judge off of what your eyes see, because obviously you see the same thing I see. And the people are seeing the same thing that he sees, which is Vince wasn't present. Chris is the face of POG. He's the one who is making most of the videos. He's keeping that name popular. He's keeping his videos and content out there. He's been awesome with adding people, recruiting people. Then Vince, then we can say that Chris is actually more factual than Vince was. Now with Vince, there is a lot more behind the scenes. I understand behind the scenes people. I'm a more behind the scenes person myself. But when you work behind the scenes and you know that you're not the face, you know you're camera shy, you know you're not that talkative, then you should have kept it that way. Because at the end of the day, Vince kind of played himself. I have to be honest, and I'm not taking sides, but what I'm saying is you both should have just sat down privately. The problem with people is that when something happens, they don't like to open their mouth and confront the person right when it happens. And the majority of the cases, that's with men a lot. Because sometimes men don't know how to open up, and express their feelings, as women do. But I would say, hopefully you guys can work it out. Being a woman, I always want things to work out. Work it out. Was it wrong for Vince to still have gotten 50% of the profits? Yes, it was, because I would be upset too. But that's how business works. That's how a partnership works. And I commend Chris for that, for paying Vince, because he obviously understands that. And so I do commend him on that. Everybody wouldn't do that, So that again shows Chris's maturity. Vince, you just have to step up, man. You have to step up. You probably did end up hurting yourself in the long run. Chris a little bit too, but Chris is the more popular person. There's always going to be a more popular person. That's why people who are in singing groups go solo, because they're more popular. But that's the way it plays out, and that's just life, and there's nothing you can do about it. As far as POG, keep the channel. I think that'd be the smartest business move for Chris. Obviously, yes, he is a busy guy, but you seem to have to manage your time very well. And with a woman like Denise, and if you put a stronger team together, man, you'll be unstoppable. As far as Vince, you can get there. Anybody can always improve. There's no such thing as no one who can improve. Anyone can always improve. But as far as this beat, guys, y'all should have just kept it off camera. It's out there now. There's something you can do about it. But move on from it. You made your few rant videos. Obviously, it's going to be popular. It's going to make money because you guys got your AdSense on there. But keep those videos. It's good to see real life. But what most people probably want to see is you guys work it out. I wouldn't say do it on camera, but at the same time, that would be kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie, to see how you guys work it out. Hopefully, you guys can, like I said, go back to where the error started, where it happened, and try to make it work from there. If you guys can salvage your relationship, salvage it. If not, oh well. You live and you learn. Chris, you have your own stuff going on. Vince trying to have his own stuff going on. Even if you have to still do separate channels, that's fine. It seems like that's what you guys are doing right now. But then again, like I said, me as a woman who is into fitness, and I like both of you guys, I'm not going to pick a side, because there's errors on both sides. Yes, it is a little bit more on Vince's side too, but it's life. Well, it happens, so just go from there. Hopefully you guys who are watching this, you'll form your own opinions too. We can get the comment section rolling. I'm interested to see other people's opinions on it. I always love to see other people's opinions on it. Click the subscribe button. I have my own channel as well, not fitness related, but marriage related and everything like that. So I'm open to hear you guys and what you guys think about it. Like I said, I'm a woman. I love to hear men's point of view and their perspective, because men, you guys know how you are. And like I've always was taught, you want to know how a man think? Ask a man.